Hello everybody, this is Lady Kaylah here and welcome to the Geekdom. Today I'm going to do a video on why I will no longer be reviewing Game of Thrones. A couple of you guys were interested in me doing a sort of rant-like video since that's what I'm kind of known for around here. And so yeah, I'll be getting into the reasons why I will no longer be watching the show or reviewing the show. I'm not sure if I will pick up the show later on when the season dies down and whatnot. But the number one reason I am done with the show is probably the fandom. I very much like to have discussions about the fandoms that I like and go into very controversial topics, theories, and, you know, if it's sexist, if it's racist. I just like to explore different ideas and perspectives on the shows that I like. I can still like a show and, you know, contemplate whether or not it's sexist or racist and so on and so forth. That's what I like to do. A lot of people like to hear that perspective, but for some reason, with the popularity of the fandom, a lot of people don't know how to have proper discussions, and instead of just saying, oh, I agree or I disagree, they go crazy, and I'm really getting tired of this idea that you can't criticize something and like it at the same time. It's just like, oh no, take it as it is or don't say anything at all kind of mentality, and it's kind of very basic. And I'm an English major, and so literary analysis is like one of my favorite things to do, so I'm going to apply it when I do fandom talks and when I do all these other kind of explorations. I'm not just going to simply read it, take it as it is, and not find criticisms about it and not delve into it on a deeper level. That doesn't make any sense. That's boring. That's just being a sheep person that sits there in front of the TV and watches it all day and doesn't use their better critical thinking skills that you have simply because you've been told to like it or leave it all your life. That's basic. Not gonna do it. So I'm really tired of the fandom, and while I can take it in small doses, like, because I know I'm gonna find these people in all different sorts of fandoms. Game of Thrones is a really huge fandom, so I'm getting it a lot with Game of Thrones, whereas if I get it with other fandoms, they're smaller, so I won't be dealing with it as much. So there's that. That's my number one reason why I'm not doing Game of Thrones anymore. Number two is it has deviated from the books so far, and that's not necessarily a reason why I would quit a show or anything. However, for me, I want to read the books, and I'm scared that even though it's deviated from the show, that they might keep some things that will spoil me from the books, so I don't want to be spoiled when it comes to the books, so I'm going to stay away from it. Also with the deviations is it's quite obvious at this point that everything good about Game of Thrones previous to now was because it was based on the brilliance of George R. R. Martin. Now that George R. R. Martin's storyline is being deviated, you can see how terrible the writing is, you can see how basic the storyline and plots are, you can see how apparent it is that they're just using shock value to keep their fans, because apparently the Game of Thrones fandom is full of people who, one, have that take it or leave it mentality and aren't capable of critical thinking skills and analysis, and on top of that, they like just shock value for entertainment as opposed to actually well thought out storylines, which is something that I enjoy very much, and so I'm not going to continue Game of Thrones if its storyline is going to continue to spiral downward into just awful territory. So there's that. And then saying, you know, noticing that it relies on shock value, that is the third reason why I am leaving, because it just relies on sexual violence as a form of shock value, and instead of these terrible things being critical to the plot and character development, which I am for. I am for violence. I am for realistic tragedies happening. That are critical to plot and character development. That makes sense to me. I like that. I think that's really interesting character setup and storyline. Like I really enjoy that. So that's not just me saying, oh, I can't handle violence or whatever or not. I'm not a particular fan, I'll admit, but if it's done well and it's a really good story, I'm not going to complain. I actually really enjoy it. In fact, I can relate to it a lot more if it develops something, if something fruitful comes out of it. I like good writing, and simply like just having shock value is not good writing. Sorry. So it's just the show's no longer appealing to me. If you haven't noticed, I haven't done a video review on the last couple of Game of Thrones episodes, so it just hasn't been holding me. I haven't been as inclined to hurry up and get on the camera and be like, oh my gosh, this episode was like this and I really enjoyed it, or I really thought this was weird, or whatever. I'm not into it as much as I used to be, just on the most basic level. That is why I am done with Game of Thrones. But those are my reasons. I'm sure there's more of them that are just piling up that are adding on to my dislike for the show. So that's how it is. Maybe I'll pick it up again. Maybe the storyline will get better to me again. This is not at all to criticize people who do enjoy the show. Go ahead, enjoy it as you will. My frustrations are mostly from people who just have the take it or leave it mentality, or who tell people who have analysis on the show to not have any input. Like, I'm getting tired of people saying, stop criticizing the show, when it's just like, no, I'm going to continue to do what I want. If you like the show for whatever reasons, if you like the shock value, if you like this writing, if you like all that, go ahead. We're all going to have different tastes. I understand that. You go on and like the show. I'm not going to be mad at you for that. If you like the things that I don't like, good on you. That's good. I'm really glad that you do. I'm just tired of the things that I've specifically stated. I am not at all upset with people for having different opinions than me. I'm not at all upset at people for liking something that I personally don't like. So, that's all I have to say. So, thank you for your time. I hope you understand better my perspective through this video. I personally am not a relaxed type that will be a pushover for popularity. I am very heavily opinionated, and that's why I come off really strong. So if this type of video doesn't appeal to you, or if my type of reasoning doesn't appeal to you, this probably isn't the channel for you, and I just wanted to warn you guys now. So thank you for your time. I'll see you guys later. Bye.